If you are a typical corporate professional sitting in like your fourth budget alignment meeting today, you've probably spent the last hour just staring at a spreadsheet and daydreaming about an exit.
Oh, absolutely. Everyone does it.
Right. And usually that dream is kind of an ego play.
Yeah, totally.
You picture this sleek tech startup or maybe a boutique fitness studio or, I don't know, an artisanal coffee shop.
Something that looks really good on LinkedIn.
Exactly. Something you could brag about and look incredibly glamorous doing.
Hmm.
But the reality is, bragging rights don't actually build generational wealth.
No, they really don't.
Do you know what does? Fixing toilets.
It's so true, yeah.
So today we are taking a deep dive into why the smartest exit strategy from the corporate grind is completely unglamorous. We're unpacking the specific mechanics of the 1-800-Plumber Plus Air franchise.
Which is a fascinating model to look at.
It really is. So we are looking at the buyer psychology, the unit economics, and how this brand turns everyday home maintenance into this highly predictable wealth-building vehicle.
Yeah, and that shift moving from chasing prestige to chasing predictability, that is the absolute hallmark of a mature investor.
For sure.
Because when you evaluate the foundation of the home services industry, what you are looking at is a fundamentally recession-resistant asset.
Right, because things break no matter what the economy is doing.
Exactly. Think about just the basic mechanics of human behavior in crisis, right? If a family wakes up in the middle of January and their heater is dead,
Oh man, the worst.
or, a pipe bursts and water is just actively flooding their kitchen hardwood, they do not pause to check the stock market.
No, they definitely don't look at current interest rates or wait for the next quarter's economic forecast before calling for help. The kitchen is flooding right now.
It is an immediate, absolute, non-negotiable need. And stepping into this space means inserting yourself into an industry of highly, highly predictable consumer demand.
Which is huge.
It is. But what you really have to understand about home services is that historically, it is just massively fragmented.
Like mom and pop shops mostly.
Yeah, exactly. It's largely dominated by independent operators, the proverbial guy in a truck.
Yeah.
And these independents, they might be fantastic technicians, but they rarely have the operational infrastructure or the marketing budget or the customer service systems to actually scale the business.
So there's a ceiling to what they can do.
Exactly. And that fragmentation creates this massive vacuum, a vacuum for a systematized corporate-level operation to step in and just capture market share.
Which brings us to a massive strategic moat with this specific model. Because 1-800-Plumber Plus Air is one of the very few franchises that actually combines both HVAC and plumbing under one single roof.
Yes, and that is a massive differentiator.
It really is. And we are talking about a huge scope of services here. Like on the plumbing side, you have drain cleaning, water heaters, tankless systems, gas lines, repipes, sewer services.
It's incredibly comprehensive.
Yeah. And then parallel to that, on the HVAC side, you have air conditioning repair, ductless mini splits, indoor air quality management, heat pumps, boiler replacements. It's everything.
The structural advantage of combining those services, it really cannot be overstated.
How so?
Well, in the traditional fragmented model, a homeowner has a plumbing company they might call, maybe once every 3 or 4 years for an emergency.
Right.
And then they have a completely different HVAC company that they call for a summer AC tune-up.
That sounds like a hassle.
It is. They have to vet 2 different companies, store 2 different phone numbers, and trust 2 totally different sets of technicians wandering around their house.
Oh, I see.
So by combining these services, this franchise model collapses that consumer friction entirely.
It's almost like you are owning the whole circulatory system of the house instead of just one single vein.
That's a perfect way to put it, yeah.
Because usually you are just the summer AC guy.
Right.
Or you are the winter boiler guy, right? You just have a seasonal relationship.
Right.
But with a dual service model, you aren't tied to a single season at all. You own the home's maintenance year-round.
And let's look at the actual mathematics of why owning that entire circulatory system matters to the franchise owner. Because customer acquisition costs is, it's one of the heaviest burdens for any new business.
Oh, absolutely.
If you start a standalone plumbing company, you are spending an absolute fortune bidding on Google search terms against every other plumber in your city.
Right, trying to rank for plumber near me.
Exactly. But with a dual model, you capture the customer once. So maybe they call you out of sheer desperation for a leaky kitchen faucet.
Okay.
You send a professional technician, you provide this incredible experience, and you establish trust. Now, because you own the circulatory system, you seamlessly cross-sell them a seasonal furnace tune-up maybe 3 months later.
Oh, wow. So you essentially cut your customer acquisition cost in half.
Literally in half, yes.
Every single new plumbing client is a warm lead for the HVAC side and vice versa.
Exactly. It's a closed-loop ecosystem.
That is so smart. And I guess that brings up the brand awareness that's baked right into the name, too. Their slogan is, "Our name is our number."
Yeah, 1-800-PLUMBER+AIR.
Right. Their phone number is literally 1-800-758-6237. I kind of want to talk about the psychology of that, because when water is pouring through your ceiling at 2 in the morning, you are in a state of sheer panic.
Your lizard brain is totally firing.
Yes. You aren't going to remember some clever pun of a business name you saw on a billboard 3 weeks ago.
No, you are going to remember a number that is the exact name of the service you desperately need right now.
Right.
It is honestly a masterclass in reducing cognitive load during an emergency. When a consumer is in a state of high stress, clarity and immediacy win every single time.
That makes total sense. But this does bring up a major hurdle, I think, for the corporate professional evaluating this franchise.
Okay, what's that?
Well, we are talking about highly technical engineered systems here, like gas line repairs, complex sewer trenching, installing engineered cooling systems.
Yes, very technical work.
Right. So if you are that corporate executive sitting in the boardroom, your immediate thought is probably, well, I know spreadsheets, I know P&L statements, I know team management, but I do not know the first thing about a ductless mini-split.
Right, of course.
So do you need to be a master plumber to buy this territory?
No. Absolutely no previous plumbing or HVAC experience is required to become a franchisee.
Okay, that's good.
However, the model strictly requires full-time dedication to the business.
Okay, wait, I have to push back on this.
Sure.
Because if I am a senior executive stepping into this space and I have the capital ready, my immediate instinct is to buy the territory, pay a premium salary to a seasoned general manager to run the day-to-day operations, and just be a passive, hands-off investor.
A lot of people think that way, yeah.
Right. So why can't I just keep my corporate job and let a GM handle the ductless mini-splits from day one?
Well, you can eventually reach that point,
Yeah.
but in years 1 through 3, a general manager does not have their own capital on the line.
Okay, fair point.
To understand why you can't be hands-off during the launch and growth phase, we have to look at what you are actually managing. Your job is not turning the wrench.
Right.
Your job is building a team of highly trained technicians and rigorously enforcing the core values of the brand. You are essentially the architect of the customer experience engine.
But are there GMs who treat the business like their own? Like, if I incentivize a GM with aggressive profit sharing, shouldn't that solve the problem and let me stay hands-off?
Profit sharing is a great tool, don't get me wrong, but it does not replace founding culture and owner-level risk.
What do you mean by owner-level risk?
Let me give you a real-world scenario. It's 6 p.m. on a Friday. A technician is exhausted after a super long install, and they complain about having to clean up the workspace to the pristine standard the brand requires.
Okay, pretty common situation.
Right. A GM who just wants to go home to their family might let it slide. They might say, just get out of there, we'll deal with it later.
Yeah, that's human nature.
But an owner whose own life savings are tied up in the business, they know that a 1-star Google review about muddy footprints on a white carpet costs them $5,000 in future lifetime value.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
The owner does not let it slide.
But giving white glove service in what is fundamentally a messy blue-collar industry, I mean, that sounds like a nightmare to manage.
It can be.
You are dealing with complicated logistics, traffic, tire technicians, stressed homeowners. How does an owner actually force that level of compliance without micromanaging every single truck?
Well, it's a nightmare if you don't have a strict playbook. And that is exactly why 1-800-PLUMBER+AIR provides an operational protocol that just completely disrupts the typical contractor experience.
So cuffs, how?
Think about what consumers hate the most about home services.
Waiting around for a 4-hour window where no one shows up.
Exactly. And hidden fees that magically appear on the final invoice. And, messy workspaces left behind.
Yeah, all of that.
This playbook requires 24/7 availability. It mandates upfront pricing, meaning the customer is given the exact cost before a single tool is lifted. So that completely eliminates surprise fees.
Oh, that's huge. And the automated text messages, right? I saw that in the operations guide.
Yes. Automated text updates prior to arrival so the customer knows exactly when the technician is showing up.
I love that.
And it even comes with a photo of the tech for safety and peace of mind. Plus, it demands that licensed professionals explain the work thoroughly in plain English.
No jargon.
Right, no jargon.
Uh,
And fundamentally, it requires a commitment to protecting the home, wearing shoe covers, using drop cloths, and leaving the area cleaner than it was found.
wow. But enforcing those protocols definitely requires an engaged leader who is physically present, right?
Absolutely. To manage the culture and the brand's reputation in that exclusive territory, you have to be there.
Which makes sense. But the franchisor provide a massive support infrastructure to help you do that.
They really do.
You get hours of on-the-job training, dozens of hours of classroom pre-opening training, plus ongoing support for marketing and research. They kind of hand you the roadmap.
But you still have to actually be in the driver's seat to navigate.
Exactly. So let's say you have bought in. You are dedicated full-time, your customer experience engine is humming, your techs are sending the automated texts.
Sounds like a great setup.
How does that sweat equity actually translate to the balance sheet? Let's talk numbers.
Yeah, let's break down the unit economics. We can start with the actual investment footprint. The initial investment ranges from $153,580 up to $327,040.
Which, when you look at the wider world of franchising, that is incredibly accessible.
It really is.
You aren't taking out a massive commercial loan to build some $3 million fast food restaurant with a drive-through and all that massive real estate overhead.
Exactly. It is a relatively low barrier to entry for the potential upside you're looking at.
And what's the franchise fee?
The initial franchise fee is $54,500, and they actually offer a 10% discount on that fee for veterans, which is great.
That's awesome. And what do you need to qualify financially?
A potential franchise needs a net worth of $250,000 and liquid cash of $150,000.
Okay, so for someone transitioning out of a mid to senior corporate career, those are very reachable milestones.
Very much so. The franchise agreement itself is a 10-year term, and it is renewable. But honestly, the true structural advantage lies in the royalty fee.
Oh, this is the part that completely changes the math. Because the royalty fee, which is the percentage of gross sales you pay back to the franchisor for being part of the brand, it's between 1.5% and 2%.
It is exceptionally low for this industry, like unheard of.
Let's actually do the math on that to show the mechanism of why it matters so much.
Let's do it.
Because most home service franchises hover around a 6, 7, or even 8% royalty, right?
Yeah, 7 is pretty standard.
Okay, so if your territory is doing $1 million in revenue, a standard 7% royalty means you are sending $70,000 back to corporate every single year.
Right.
But at 1.5%, you are only paying $15,000.
Exactly.
That is $55,000 of pure capital left in the owner's pocket every year.
And what savvy owners do is they weaponize that capital.
Oh, I like that phrasing. How do they do that?
Well, they don't just take it as early profit, right?
Yeah.
They deploy it right back into local marketing.
You're right.
They use that extra 55 grand to completely dominate Google local services ads in their territory.
Wow, just flood the zone.
Exactly. They essentially choke out the independent guy in a truck who simply cannot afford that level of ad spend. That low royalty fee becomes a massive competitive flywheel.
That is a huge advantage.
It is, and the brand has been franchising since 2017 and has grown to 54 units as of 2025.
Okay, so it has a proven operational track record, but the footprint isn't so saturated that you can't grab a prime exclusive territory right now.
Exactly. There's still a lot of white space.
That flywheel is powerful.
Yeah.
But if we are talking about the ultimate long-term wealth strategy here, we have to talk about the HomeGuard membership.
Yes. The HomeGuard membership is absolutely brilliant. It's a preventative maintenance program.
Tell me more about how that works.
Well, just like your car needs regular oil changes and tire rotations to avoid a catastrophic engine failure, your home's HVAC and plumbing systems need routine maintenance too.
Makes sense.
Water heaters need to be flushed, AC coils need to be cleaned, filters need to be changed regularly. Homeowners subscribe to this service, and the franchise basically takes on the mental load of remembering to maintain those systems for them.
So it prevents costly, thousands of dollars emergency repairs for the homeowner down the road.
Exactly.
I look at this and I immediately see a SaaS business. Software as a service.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
You pay a monthly fee for your cloud storage or your CRM stack, and you just don't even think about it. It just works.
Yeah.
The HomeGuard membership takes a purely reactive, emergency-driven business, literally sitting by the phone, praying for a pipe to burst, and it turns it into predictable, recurring, blue-collar SaaS revenue.
It fundamentally transforms the economic reality of the franchise. It really does.
But let's stretch that sauce analogy for a second, because in software, the deadliest metric is churn, right? People canceling their subscriptions.
Oh, absolutely. Churn is the enemy.
So how do you prevent a homeowner from just looking at their bill and saying, hey, my AC works fine. I haven't had a leak in a year. I'm just going to cancel this monthly fee.
You prevent churn through physical, tangible value.
Okay.
Think about it. If you are paying for software you forgot you had, you cancel it immediately. But with the HomeGuard membership, a uniformed professional technician comes out to your house twice a year.
To physically do the work.
Yes, to physically change your filters, inspect your engineered cooling systems, and flush your water lines. The homeowner sees the labor happening right in front of them. They see the physical asset being protected. It is significantly harder to cancel a service when you have a trusted professional standing in your basement showing you the actual rust they just cleaned out of your system.
That makes total sense. All right. The visibility of the work creates the stickiness of the subscription.
Exactly. And operationally, that recurring revenue solves what is arguably the biggest headache in home services, which is the seasonal dip.
The shoulder seasons, right?
Yes. HVAC and plumbing can have slower shoulder seasons, like when the weather is perfectly mild in the spring and fall, pipes aren't freezing, and air conditioners aren't working overtime.
Right. Nobody's having an emergency when it's 70 degrees out.
Exactly. And independent operators really struggle to make payroll during those months. But with a subscriber base, you have a guaranteed prepaid schedule of preventative maintenance work.
Oh, so you deploy your technicians on those routine checks during the slow months.
You do. It smooths out the entire revenue curve.
It keeps your team busy, paid, and happy, which I imagine drastically reduces employee turnover.
It definitely stabilizes your workforce, yes. Which is huge, because keeping good licensed technicians is half the battle in this industry.
Right.
But more importantly, for the corporate escapee evaluating this as an investment, it completely changes the valuation multiple of the business itself.
Because of the recurring revenue.
Yes. Private equity and institutional buyers are looking at home services very closely right now. If you decide to sell your franchise at the end of that 10-year term, a business with a massive roster of recurring contracted members commands a significantly higher multiple.
Compared to a business that starts every single month at zero.
Exactly. A business relying entirely on random emergency calls is worth way less. With a subscription model, you aren't just selling a truck and some tools.
You are selling a predictable, recurring cash flow asset.
Yes, you are building true equity. You are building an asset that works for you rather than just buying yourself a stressful job.
That is incredible. So, to bring this all together for you listening right now, if you were sitting at that desk, wondering what the next chapter of your career looks like, the path to taking control of your financial future might not be inventing a new app or risking your capital on some unproven startup.
No, it really might not be.
It might actually be executing an essential age-old service with absolute systematic precision.
Right.
A dual-service franchise like 1-800-PLUMBER plus Air offers a predictable, highly supported vehicle to build wealth. It leverages the massive, non-negotiable demand of plumbing and HVAC.
And it runs on an operations playbook designed to completely dominate customer satisfaction.
Exactly. With the upfront pricing, the reliable communication, all of it. And it utilizes subscription models to build a blue-collar SaaS revenue stream.
Provided, of course, that you are ready to step up, protect the brand, and dedicate yourself fully to leading a team through those really crucial early years.
Right. It's not a shortcut, but it is a proven path.
It is about trading the precarious corporate ladder for an exclusive territory, and doing it with a brand that has already figured out the friction points, the marketing leverage, and the training infrastructure. And as you map out your long-term wealth strategy, I want to leave you with one final thought to mull over.
What's that?
Well, we talked a lot about the mechanics of fixing today's leaks and today's broken AC units, right? But look at the trajectory of the modern home.
Everything is getting smarter.
Exactly. Smart home technology is evolving at an incredible pace. The plumbing and HVAC systems of the near future are going to be hyper-integrated, sensor-driven, and infinitely more complex than they are today.
Oh, that's very true.
So the franchisees who step in right now, who enforce that white glove operational playbook, who establish deep trust, and who lock down exclusive territory control, they are doing much more than fixing a rusty pipe.
They're setting the foundation.
They're actively positioning themselves to be the essential infrastructure managers of the smart homes of tomorrow.
Wow.
So think about it. What does that mean for the ultimate long-term resale value of an exclusive territory when you become the indispensable, trusted gatekeeper to a community's entire critical home infrastructure?
That is a fascinating question to ponder. You might not just be buying a plumbing and HVAC business today. You might just be buying the future.